Hello and welcome to FPL Waffle, a review of Game Week 10, a look ahead to Game Week 11. I got 44 points this week with a -4, so it was down to 40. It was another very average week on paper. Flecken was very unlucky to not get more than his four. He was on for 12 at one point, then eight, and then four with the two late Fulham goals. But it is what it is. Defensively, nothing doing. The midfield, though, Salah captaincy kind of came in pretty clutch for me, as did the Cunha assist, who basically they were my two transfers this week. I took a -4 to bring in Salah and Cunha, and they were the two that returned. So, um, two good transfers on the face. I couldn't really do much more other than benching Rodgers, which was slightly painful. But well, I don't know, with the fixtures that were on the table, Mikalenko at Southampton, I fancied him at least wanted to have a go, and I couldn't, bench an Arsenal defender. Although they're doing badly at the moment, you always back them to have a higher chance for cleaner. So, yeah, it is what it is with Rodgers. Moving into this game week, right on paper, Flecken against Bournemouth. I mean, if he gets a clean sheet, it's a miracle at this point. Brentford just can't keep a clean sheet to save their life. Defensively, Porro against Ipswich is very nice. Trent v Villa's fine. Gabriel at Chelsea, it's clean sheet potential there. Mikalenko West Ham, not ideal, but West Ham aren't doing great. Midfield looks okay. Happy enough with that. Currently, the armband's on Salah, but the plan this week was always to get Son in for McNeil, who I can do for pretty much exact funds. Cunha against Southampton's lovely. Havertz at Chelsea, not ideal. Havertz hasn't, returned for a couple of weeks. So I kind of have a couple of options of transfers, really. I'll talk you through the options in a second. Like I said, one of the options is literally just do Son to McNeil McNeil to Son for free. Probably captain Son, although I'm not expecting him to get 90 minutes against Ipswich, even if he got 70, 75. I'd like to think he could bang a couple of returns in such a plum fixture. Get some bonus, and I'll be laughing. So yeah, the plan is I think captaincy on Son. But there's a really rogue transfer plan I could do, going back to how I used to play FPL by just taking lots of hits and having fun. So I'll talk to you about that in a sec. Firstly, sort of thinking of you guys as well. Fixture ticker for this week, sort of then looking onwards. Brentford still have some good fixtures. Again, like I always say, if you don't have Brian Burmo, you have to get him in as a priority. I think he's just doing too well. Semenyo all of a sudden looks very good again with this fixture run and how sort of talismanic he's been for Bournemouth. As you can see, Chelsea's fixtures get very good soon after this week against Arsenal. So maybe if you wanted to wait a week for the likes of Palmer, if you didn't have him already, you can probably hold on one more week. But then it's looking very likely. If you wanted to get the move done this week for Palmer and you don't have him already, don't have any complaints. We know he can score against anyone, and they are at home. Beyond that. I don't think you're going to be looking too much in this territory of teams. Salah is doing really well for Liverpool, so if you can get to him, I don't mind home to Villa. Spurs just put four past them. They've played Champions League this week, as of Liverpool, but I feel like Liverpool have slightly deeper, depth in squad. They're more experienced with Champions League, and they're just playing really well. And I was there at the weekend, and like the home support that gets behind that team when they need a goal is pretty. It pretty much got the win against us. As a Brighton fan this week. So yeah, Salah's looking really good on form, etc. At home against Villa, then away to Southampton's a couple of wonderful fixtures, I think. United all of a sudden have three beautiful fixtures. So Bruno Fernandes I'm looking at this week. To be honest, is part of my rogue idea. Van Nistelrooy's been doing well from attacking lead. They've got this new manager coming in. There's sort of like all of a sudden a bit of life at United. Wouldn't surprise me if Fernandes well, basically, I'd be very surprised if Fernandes doesn't return over these three games. At least once, probably more. Haaland's still struggling. I don't have any issues of selling him if you have to, to get, increase the sort of quality of your squad overall. Like I said during a previous video, there's captain options without Haaland for a long time. So no issues if you want to get rid of him. But equally, if you've got him against Brighton, I do expect him to probably get something against us. We're not defending perfectly. So yeah, it's kind of like don't mind if you sell, don't mind if you hold. From me on that one. Newcastle are starting to look a bit better. Isak could come into our thinking, but maybe still, keep an eye on him as one to watch a bit longer. I still don't think it's quite too late to bring in Chris Wood. I'd expect him to have some chance against Newcastle. And then there is that home to Ipswich fixture after Arsenal away next week before it gets a bit tougher. But he's in the form of his life. It's like, I'm a fixtures guy, but when you've got someone playing that well, scoring every single match, a bit like Welbeck for Brighton, and they've got that Ipswich home fixture, and home to Newcastle isn't an awful one, as an entry point. I don't mind it. And Spurs home to Ipswich, is one to attack. If you want to go Spurs like I am, it's definitely one to attack. Brennan Johnson's a bit cheaper. He's playing 90. I think he's played 90 minutes the last 5 game weeks, so he's worth a look. And then Wolves all of a sudden have just incredible fixtures. And the likes of Cunha come to mind, Ait Nouri, Strad Larson, if you wanted to get a cheaper forward. Even Semedo, I don't mind. He's looking almost as attacking as Ait Nouri. So that's the fixtures. There's some sort of players to chuck out there as suggested ideas. As for my sort of rogue transfer alternative, so I can either do Son in this week free transfer, or I can just go crazy, get a -12, and I can bring in Son. I can bring in Fernandes, so that's Rodgers out, McNeil out. I can do Havertz down to Wood, who, like I've just discussed, I still think that's some mileage, and Havertz, bit of difficult fixture, etc. And then Ait Nouri, I can bring in if I downgrade Gabriel again for a hard, away to Chelsea fixture. Although I expect Arsenal to start getting clean sheets soon, I really love the Wolves fixtures. This man's very attacking. All of a sudden, on paper, my team for this week would look a whole lot stronger if I took those moves. And Fernandes will last a few weeks. Wood will last at least a few weeks. Ait Nouri will last a lot of weeks because of Wolves' fixtures. And Son, at the very least this week for Ipswich, potentially, I don't like Son's fixture on. I don't actually mind too much. Away to City aren't defending that well. Son loves a goal against the big club on the counter. Then you've got home to Fulham, away to Bournemouth, home to Chelsea, so it's a home fixture again there, and then away to Southampton, where I remember Son scored 4 years at Southampton a few years ago, and I remember captaining him on Sky Fantasy Football, and yeah, this sort of like I think I find it very hard to go without him in that fixture because of that sort of nostalgic memory. So yeah, there's some suggestions for you. Here's how my team would look if I made those 4 transfers. In future weeks, I could then do Welbeck and the Tomer to make it look very solid that week for as Brighton have a good fixture run. And then looking further ahead, I could go crazy for bench boost and, have a team like that in 13. But we'll probably think about that more near the time, and a lot might change between now and then. If you can be bothered to comment, feel free to let me know which transfer idea you like the sound of more. I'm leaning towards the -12 because I think it'll be more fun. But equally, I know it's a lot more risky and could cause a lot more pain if it goes terribly, which is where I need to learn to, hold fantasy football more lightly, perhaps. And this could be an opportunity to do that. If you're here just for the fantasy football content, tune off now. Thanks for listening thus far. If you're staying for the Pokemon pack, another pack of Paradox Rift. Can we get anyone to write home about whatsoever? Looking straight to the back, we have got ourselves, to be fair, an EX Iron Hands. So not too shabby at all. Hasn't blown the world away, but it's a standard EX card. You never say no to those. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe for more if you want to follow this channel. Thanks for those that have been supporting the channel thus far with subscribing and liking, etc. It is always appreciated. And for now, hope you guys have a wonderful game week.